I think am I live? I don't know. Let me check.
Not yet.
Okay, I think we're good to go.
Now you are.
What's going on? Let me let me know everything sounds okay, cause I know my mic be doing weird shit, making me sound like Darth Vader and all kinds of nonsense. I don't know what's going on. I need a new mic, new computer, new life, everything upgraded.
Your new life hack. But you sound good to me.
I just gotta do better.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I got this again.
Naya, my voice is low. Shit. I mean.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Your voice was low. I put my volume up to like 90, dude.
Is there a way for me to raise my voice on OBS? I don't know how to do this shit.
Yeah, it's like your you have a mic setting in OBS. It's like where the input and output audio is.
In the mixer?
Yeah.
This shit is on max.
All right, what about in your sound settings where the playback recording devices?
I don't even know that. I don't even know what you're talking about.
This nigga.
All right, you know your
God.
sound is on your computer, bitch.
Oh, the sound thing. You got it.
Yeah, right. Click on your sound, bro.
Open mixer, I guess.
My God, this man's a maniac.
Shit, man. Let's come low today. That's life. All right. How's everyone doing? I think the last time I did a stream, I think we had about 3 chapters left, if I remember correctly. So I guess we'll kind of start off with just talking about how we felt about the season ended in general, the last 3 chapters, the wrap up, John beating everyone's ass, this, that, and the other. So, everyone sound off. Go ahead. I mean, or I can start if you want.
I mean, I guess I'll start. I don't know. I actually really liked how the season ended. I had a wish list going into the end of the season, and basically everything that I wanted actually happened.
If you want.
I mean, I guess I'll start. I don't know. I actually really the season ended. I had a wish list going into the end. That John actually won. I never thought that John should have lost. So it was like a high def fight. John wins. Sera finds out by looking at his fighting style, which goes more to their character interactions than anything else than outside of some cheesy drama.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically everything I wanted. Breaking into the relationship, Sera finding out. I mean, this is greatness, honestly, for me.
Yeah, the main thing I needed was her to find out. That's all I wanted. That was the win for me. I'm an Arlo fan.
I do think it was kind of blue-balled for a while. I'm not sure if that happened just so like other plot points could like be formed up. But there was a lot of dancing around, like, oh, when's Sera gonna find out, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it still happened in a satisfying way for me.
Yeah, I feel it. And I like the fact that she could just recognize him through build, style, things of that nature, and have to be like a whole ass face reveal. And it's just like, I just love it because like he's so like he looks so at peace. Like, no more royals. I'm like, you ain't do shit. First of all, nothing you did has done anything. You're just lashing out. And 2,
speak for yourself. That nigga solved all the issues.
And 2, his victory is gonna be hollow because Sarah's not gonna be fucking with what happened. So
L he's ever taken.
Exactly.
That's gonna be great though for like his character.
That's what I love about it. You need.
Logically, I think it should like break his character down where like he's gonna like. Maybe I kind of am slightly predicting he might go like Sasuke mode. He might join Ember and take it to the next step where he just like wants to destroy all hierarchy.
Whoa,
maybe.
I don't think it's gonna go there.
No,
maybe I don't know because the endgame villain has to be Ember and like. I mean, unless John and then like make up right away, you have to include them in some way, shape, or form. Maybe they capture all the good people and John has to save them, and that's his redemption.
See, that's what I said. What's gonna happen? He's gonna hit full depression arc, and they all gonna get kidnapped, and that's what he gonna make his redemption when he has to go save her. And then Arlo gonna have to be the one that pull him together because he gonna be too depressed. Then Arlo gonna be like, yeah, I really think that's gonna happen. I think Arlo's gonna be the one to pull them together.
Cecile.
I don't know, man. Because Arlo,
Cecile not pulling him up. She don't care about that. She just need to write her article. She good.
I don't think he gives.
That's all she
I don't think he cares about Arlo no more after the way he did him and like.
Nah, bro. Arlo gonna be the one to pull because Arlo understands fundamentally a lot of this shit was his fault, but it's John's fault too.
Wouldn't John's dad be a better candidate?
Yeah.
No.
Probably.
Because his dad already tried.
John's dad be a better candidate?
Yeah,
I mean, he lost the book, right? So he
I-
lost his coping mechanism.
yeah, I think his dad and that book did way more than like what Kian's rehabilitation.
Bro, he didn't do it. Now that's somebody who didn't do a damn thing.
That man just slammed his hand to the table and said, "Relive this." I'm like, bro, what?
That man really got a job to bully kids. That's crazy.
You getting paid?
You mean that's fantastic?
Have you guys ever thought about like why the headmaster doesn't do anything when
Of
the
course,
kids are like
bro,
beating
bro,
themselves
come-
up and killing each
Bro,
other?
one, they obviously got like the best medicine in the world. I mean, look at their doctor. He constantly
Just
put
letting
people
them
back
kill each
together.
other.
I think
They
that's
never
just the
actually
funny
killed.
thing.
They actually never actually killed
like
nobody.
break
Though.
multiple boats. I mean, look what John's doing, dude.
Honestly,
But he put them back together though.
yeah, I just don't think that any of them really think that there's anything wrong.
Well, I
with
mean,
what's
technically,
going
they
on.
should be part of the problem, shouldn't they?
Yeah, they are because they allowed this.
And like, he's like a good guy.
I don't
and
know
this
if he's
is the
good.
be-
Now, that's
yo,
the more
and this
thing.
is this is the best school. What the worst school looking like in the county? Like, it looks good.
We'll probably never find out.
They don't have the doctor, the advanced doctor like this one have putting people
Like,
back
you got, like,
together.
black market doctors and shit running around.
Yeah, that man needs the best 401k pension plan of all time. He's working triple overtime all the time, putting these students back together. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Dr. Darren's the best character, by the way.
Yeah, that's
He's
fact.
a cool guy.
He's my spirit animal. BMC, how you doing?
He's
I
muted.
You muted.
Oh shit, I didn't see that.
Hate to see it.
We'll get his thoughts
Nice
on it later.
introduction. Way to go.
But
Tough scene.
how do you guys feel about the choreography in that last fight?
Oh yeah,
I actually thought it was really good.
Really good.
Yeah, she
Seeing the way
improved.
she's
She improved
progressed.
a lot. I'm really happy
Yeah,
with
she
that.
figured.
Like I thought that was actually a pretty solid fight for just overall for all fights. I thought it was pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah. BMC, you unmuted?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It was weird. Like Discord was being a little like funky. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a play around also with whatchamacallit, Hangouts, so I can just do both just in case anything goes wrong. But I'm tired. I can't be bothered. I'm just.
Oh, good lord.
I am liable to just fall asleep right now. But how do you? I mean, I know you cut off pretty recently and stuff. So how you feel? How was the journey?
It was really cool. I liked it a lot. Like the one thing I'll say is, like, at least for me, the difference between reading a webtoon and let's say like a comic book, like a comic book, and like a Western comic, I guess, and a manga is like the webtoon has like it's like the difference between going to a restaurant and like having like a
Fast food.
$100 like steak or something, and like it's been lowered and it's like, oh, this is supposed to be good, and then like to your like mom's place or something like that, and like having like a home cooked meal and it's gonna be good, and it just has like that certain like feel to it. Like webtoons have that, and like unOrdinary has that. Like it's just the little jokes, like it just feels like there's someone behind that I could get to know.
Okay.
And like with
Okay.
comics and like manga, it doesn't feel like that. I'm just like, okay, here's the story. I'm not so sure what kind of person the mangaka is, or the comic writer is, or webtoons. I'm like, there's always like a personality. Like even when it's clearly about like like super powered teenagers and all that kind of stuff. But like the humor is very like, okay, there's like clearly a person behind this, and they have like an idea of what kind of humor they like, and they consistently do that. And I don't know, it's just a nice like vibe.
It's pretty
It just
pretty
feels more
contemporary.
I completely agree with you, BMC.
Yeah.
I think the reason for that is because Uru-Chan is actually actively involved in the community. Like, there's inside jokes between her and the people who actually read the webtoons. It doesn't feel like it's someone beyond our reach as fans. I feel like there's kind of like a connection between the community that Uru has, because like she's not huge. She has like a Patreon, just kind of like getting by with the
I cannot
webtoons.
hear you guys. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh,
It's
jeez.
Rip.
Uh-oh.
Did you hear me?
Tough scene.
I don't know.
My point still stands.
I'm like,
You were 100% spot on with everything you said, but he couldn't hear a word of it.
That's absolutely tragic.
Yeah,
That's like Arlo and John. That's crazy parallels.
He was just saying that Uru-Chan doesn't feel out of reach because she's involved with the community and stuff, and she like talks to people and they're just inside.
And there Nia is. He's being Sera. He's being the communicator. They're good job, bro. Great job.
Got the whole story up in here, bro.
Yeah, bro. He couldn't hear Arlo, but he heard Sera. Great job.
Look, I got my W. That's all I needed. I win. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, I saw your little victory lap, but it's all good. I got what I wanted, and that was Royals done. He rang the bell on everything. Match over. You know, now he can take his L because that's a new season, so we good. But he won the first season, so I'm glad.
His chest because he knows he can't do it later.
Nah, y'all can't do it. Y'all were telling me, wait for this to happen. Nah, okay. Bro, I'm good. I won everything I needed because guess what? Ember gonna beat everybody up anyway, so I'm good.
Yeah, I still stand by. They're gonna attack when that school is at their most divided.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're gonna pull up. Probably. They're gonna drag everybody to whatever facility they pulling them to. It'll be good.
But yo, when John scaled that building, that was spooky.
I was like, yo, what the fuck is this shit?
It's like, yo.
Hey, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see that coming. I was like, hey, yo.
No, I knew he was gonna do it, but I was like, oh my lord.
John's
so effortless. I was like, man,
he's actually a monster.
Mm-hmm. He's literally the LeBron James of his era. nobody else can do the athletic feats this man out here doing. He
created the single person super team. That's crazy.
I mean, it's just crazy that he can use every single ability better than every single person that uses the ability originally.
Yeah, that's thing. No creativity on
Blake, bro. How he's doing Blake, bro, is dirty. He's just like
I've never seen nobody get
every time.
I've never seen nobody get done like that. And I don't know why my man Ethan just didn't lay down. After he saw Blake get beat up again, I would just laid on the floor.
The one thing I like about Ethan though is like he's like psychologically defeated by John. I actually like that. He's like legitimately afraid of him. He was gonna mess with him at all.
He should be.
Yeah, he should be.
It's really good that this whole scenario played out the way it did because I think in terms of whoever we individually wanted to either win or we wanted to see prosper in that, I think we got to see all the characters we care about really prosper in some way while, doing things like advancing the plot and setting up things moving forward for season 2. And it was just really well executed. I think that was really the one thing that at least that I took away the most anyway. I just like that was executed.
Yeah, execution was actually great.
Yep, that's my favorite. That's my favorite thing about a lot of these webtoons at some point is when the execution hits. Even though a lot of these premises aren't super original, the execution and like the realism and feeling like the characters actually feel like real people. Like, yeah, they make dumb mistakes and stuff that necessarily we wouldn't make, but there's stuff that people actually do.
Yeah,
so
I
agree. Can't act like it doesn't. You can't, like, sometimes when you read a manga or a comic book, the people feel so transcended or just so like filled with idealism and shit like that. You just feel like, oh, like the stuff they do, it's not realistic at all. Nobody would actually ever do that.
I also, like I said this before, like I also feel like with unOrdinary, a lot of these characters feel real. Like how I imagine these teenagers will be acting in an environment like this, where it's a hierarchy. Pretty much, what you can do, what you can be, is determined by how powerful you are. Like I always find it crazy that this dude is a principal. Keon is like law enforcement, and he's like, "All right, get out. That's enough questions." Like, you're a principal. This is like, what?
He's got the sauce, all right.
You can't tell me to go. Like,
clearly a part of Ember, bro.
Yeah, like
no, you gotta listen.
Which is
I'm really curious how much he actually knows about what's going on with everything right now.
I think he knows everything. There's no way you can't convince me. Now my thing is he good or is he bad? That's the real question to me.
Or is he chaotic neutral?
Because he's terrifying in every way.
I know, you just sitting there, paperwork. I'm like, he just looks scary. You're not even doing nothing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. Bro, he don't even walk around his own school, bro. We've never seen him leave that office. He don't walk around his own school. That's how terrifying he is.
Yeah, Dr. Darren Good, man. He up in the kitchen cooking and whipping and tonics.
My man really go to work and try to live a normal life, and they won't let him.
You just trying to date Sera's sister in peace? No.
Right, for real. You out here bagging Sera's sister, and it's like, damn, I can't get a moment's peace, John.
Yeah. What do you think about Sera's sister? How is she going to come into play next season?
I think she's basically going to be the plot device that brings them into Ember.
Yeah, that's the connection.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Is she now? I still can't. She's a scientist opposing Ember, or like what? Because she's working on something, but I still couldn't tell what side she was on either.
I mean, at first I thought she was with Ember, like whenever she was first introduced, but now I'm not so sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I still can't
that.
tell either. And also, Sera. It seems like Sarah's whole family got something to do with it. To be honest, because her dad's company is involved with this too. It was wild. Whole family plotting.
Also, how long do you think Sarah's going to be out? Is the sister just going to like undo the drug effect?
I don't know.
Now that I have no
She's
clue.
been out for a while, man.
I don't know, but the one thing I really liked about it is because like the whole point of unOrdinary, right, is because everybody has these powers. The person who doesn't, they're like the different one or whatever. So I like how they flipped it, because when we like, okay, John does have powers, I was kind of like, well, like I felt like for a second it kind of defeated the purpose of the title just a little bit. But when she lost her powers, but I see what you did there, which I thought
You think it's going to be like a reverse telling of the story where like Sarah is actually like the person who saves stuff? Basically. Like she becomes the person in the book, essentially.
That's
like actually it's a reverse, because in the book it's the one guy has superpowers, right?
It was I think my cousin is the one who came up with that idea for me. I don't think he said Sarah though. I don't remember what it was, but he was saying something like that. Like he thinks in some shape or form the book will play out in real life.
Well, yeah. Well, I think there has to be at some point in this series some answer for like the dichotomy between like John's belief and then like the hierarchy for how it's actually going to work, because the school was basically just like a smaller version of what's happening in the real world.
Yeah.
So you have to come up with like an idea that actually works with that.
And literally just beating everybody is not going to work.
That isn't just everyone gets along, because it was proven basically in the school that doesn't actually work. People just go back to what they were before. So
yeah, nobody has.
Maybe it's getting rid of all superpowers.
Yeah, maybe so. That'd be nice.
It kind of reminds me of Charlotte, in a sense. Like at the end of Charlotte. I don't know if you've ever watched it, but basically, like the main character takes every single power in the series and just like gets rid of superpowers.
I'm still sketchy on Charlotte, but yeah,
no more mutants. I'm sorry, but shit, I was gonna say, I forgot. Shit, never mind.
All right, good talk.
Something I was gonna say is that I think like the test for unOrdinary will be whether or not it keeps its quality past one season, because at least in my experience, I think I've read a fair amount of webtoons. I think the weakness with webtoons is that they always have a good start, but they like fall off really, really hard, like as they get to a later point. Because I don't feel like many webtoons are actually built to last that long.
I feel like they. Oh, well, go ahead, Nye. I'll let you talk.
I was just gonna say that I feel like a lot of them just, at the very least, they have a large portion of time where they're just no aim, they're just aimless. I could think like Girls of the Wild. You could look at him for a while. There's nothing of importance happening. There's no direction, and I'm just kind of like it's going through the motions, and I don't want that type of unOrdinary, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened for at least for a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like they listen to their fans too much. Her out of all the ones I haven't read like a ton, other than but this one and Bastard feels like the only two, or the person who made Bastard feel like the only two who actually just follow their thoughts completely to the end. They don't let anybody influence what they're going to do in their series.
At least not
because I feel like a lot of webtoon people, because they ingratiate themselves, they might ingratiate themselves a little bit. They might take, how fans react to certain things a little too personally, a little too seriously, and they start switching up. I'm just like, bro, if you got a plan in mind, it doesn't always. People can't always see that stuff. We analyze and we break it down, but we can't see necessarily where it's gonna go all the time weekly. Like when they were doing the stuff with Remy and Blake and Eisen, and they were doing the superhero stuff at the time, that was one of the most boring parts of the series for me. The way it played out, the way it's playing out, it was good for the series. But at the time of reading it, I didn't like that. Except for the fight scene that they had. But for the most part, because I didn't care about them. I was like, let's get back to the matter at hand. Because I cared about what's going on with John and Sera. I didn't care about seeing them. But it was necessary. It's something she had to do.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think part of it's just like the industry that Webtoons is in, because it's not an extremely popular thing. I mean, it's getting more thing, but I don't think it's like I feel like a lot of the artists just like start off like, can I get this thing going? And like they don't expect it to like actually continue to the point where they can make a full-time career out of it.
Yeah.
And then it happens, and they're like, oh, I gotta finish this.
And you can kind of tell like a lot of it's super amateur. So you can not to like, I'm not trying to disrespect them, but you can just kind of tell like these guys are just kind of just like, yo, I just want my shit out there and on the platform somewhere where it can be like, read and appreciated, and you kind of see that. So I just hope she can maintain that quality for a long time. I think she shouldn't maybe dick around too long with the Ember stuff. Maybe hop into it, not necessarily immediately, but sooner than rather than later. But we need to get that a John Sera separation kind of going. Because one thing I liked about the imagery of the crack when she's like kneeling and all the all the memories is that it shows that their entire relationship was based off a lie, and all of the like little motivation she gets post getting depowered comes from the fact that he's a cripple. He goes through this every single day, and he finds a way to keep pushing and fighting back. And he wasn't one the whole time.
Yep, and he's lied to her so many times by this point.
Yeah, and
he could have come clean at any point, but
and he straight
it's
up
John's
lied to
insecurity.
her now when she asked him, Joker, like, come on, she's like, fuck Arlo, like, man. Like,
and if anything was wrong.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been one hell of a ride. Since I haven't really talked to you and BMC about this too much, but like, who are your guys' favorite characters?
Ooh, it's like for me, it's like between Arlo and John. I really like both. I feel like John's flawed, but in a way that I actually like. The only thing that's like, it's weird because I like this about John, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know where this is gonna go. Is it the fact that John is just the best at everything?
Okay.
Because like he can use every ability better than everyone else, and the explanation is that John works out basically. John beat up a school before, so I guess maybe that's the reason why. But we'll see how that turns out. I don't know how that's gonna like roll whenever they get to like world class like professionals. Because I think we'll probably get that at some point in time. Probably like a bunch of new characters that are actually pros in this team once we get to Ember.
That's
what I would
wish
think.
I remember how Keem explained it. I like the way he explained it because to me, shit, what did I say? I don't remember what I said. Hold on. Okay, I was trying to understand how come he can use their abilities so much better than they can, right? Because I know he has the 1.5 multiplier for whatever category. I don't know. I know every ability has certain categories, but like the way the way I kind of saw it to a certain degree was like, okay, so Blake is the best example, right? He could shoot a little beam, but I felt that the output of his beam power was not strong enough to actually like make him fly around to the same level that John can. So if you think of like Reborn, how Suna has the dying wolf flames that could propel him off the ground. It's like if I have that same ability, but my flames just aren't strong enough to fly. But Suna has the 1.5 multiplier, so he can actually like be airborne. So I was thinking like, okay, it makes sense if he can just have like a general stronger power output than most people, but he's just way more creative and everything than all these people, which I think is kind of wild.
Yeah, I think it'll be better if like when we ever get to Ember, John will probably have some runs with him. I think it will be nice if John loses. Maybe once or even a few times where it's just like, he lived in his world where he could beat up kids at school.
And if they're giving people those drugs, who say the numbers can't eventually wear him down?
Well, I think it's going to be like kind of like thing where like John's arrogance will probably cause him to like lose. It kind of already has in the fact that he's going to lose his relationship with Sera, and that's kind of it. But in like an actual fight,
but he's never had arrogance in a fight. See,
the entire pretense for the last fight was, I don't care, it doesn't matter what they do, I win.
They're giving people those drugs.
That's because he knew already. He knew what their limits were.
Well, I think it's going to be the kind of like thing with like John's arrogance.
And it's not like they shown any glimpses of them going beyond getting that second wind and going beyond their abilities. He knew flat out he could beat them. He planned.
It still ended up being a fairly close fight, though.
Yeah, but I think.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he still knew it won.
He saw Seraphina get captured, so I think he like, oh, she was like strong to this capability, and they got her, and her fucking thing, her powers got taken. So I think he'll take it seriously, but I don't think he can like actually stop anything from happening.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. See, I
shouldn't
can
be able
see
to.
him.
If
I
he
can see
does,
him.
there's no
I can see
story.
him losing it. I can see him losing it in that way. I can't see him losing a physical thing. I can see him getting outsmarted.
I told you we need Batman. I'm telling you, he's the only way. You just need somebody with straight hands and gadgets.
One Piece Batman
No
or Bruce?
power.
Him is co-signing Bruce. Damn, that's wild.
What are you?
Yeah, you don't even like Batman.
What? I just want to see him get his ass beat. I'll take whatever I can get.
Good lord. You tired of seeing Arlo get beat up, huh?
Yo, listen. Like I told you, once he did that tackle, I knew it was over. I'm like, that tackle is just not. That's a I can't
That's
fight
never
tackle.
the move.
I don't know. To be honest, like after you
Hey,
get past the front of it, where it's like I can squeeze you in my barrier. If you just even hurt the barrier, I was like, "Gah!" He just instantly gets hurt. You know?
Because he's never had to like physically fight anybody. Why should he? He got
Yeah, I know it's funny.
his
Like Arlo's
barrier is crushed. Yeah, his barrier has crushed everybody since he's basically the only person he ever lost to was Seraphina. She could literally like stop time or whatever. So,
well, Ray too. Ray used to beat his ass.
Oh,
yeah,
but he's stronger than him now, or at least end up being stronger than him.
I mean, he's dead.
And
so
Ray was already king. Ray was already king, so he had to fight him.
Hey, that's facts. That man Ray 6 feet under, and he got burned up. That's crazy. Like they didn't even just kill him; they burned the man up. Oh, yeah. Good lord!
John said, "I don't care about you." Or what did he say to her again? That shit was so foul.
He doesn't care about you or
your brother.
Or go to hell with your brother, something like that.
Oh, yeah, that was wild.
Yeah,
that was great.
But he didn't know she was dead.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, but it's so common with these like webtoons. I'll say specifically a lot with like the Korean ones that have to do with fights, where like the MC is either busted, is busted but doesn't know they're busted, will become busted, forgot they were busted, or a combination of all of those things or something.
Yeah, that's actually I completely agree with you. I've read a fair amount. They're all just ridiculous. They start out at level 20, dude.
They are.
Yeah. Cause like even with like God of High School, he just didn't like know he was busted. Like, oh, I'm actually like the Monkey King or God, whatever. Like he just didn't know. Like they didn't even know he was busted. Like, or they become busted. Or like it's just.
Or they start off busted like hardcore level warrior, lost it but still busted. He got all the information, he retained it all.
Yeah, and I mean even the very first one I ever read with Noblesse, like Raziel, like I said, the
Good
joke.
Lord.
Me and Al, the joke. Anytime Raziel pulls up with Frankenstein, we just talk about the next arc.
Arc over.
The arc's over.
You already know, yeah.
It is what it is. Well, you BMC, who are your favorite characters?
I mean, it's weird because like I think if I had to pick two, I'd probably pick Remy. And the other's tough because I feel like it's probably my favorite at the moment. But if I had to pick another one, I will say I feel like it's easy to pick Sera. Like it's very easy. I think that's an easy choice because she's just great. But if I wasn't allowed to pick Sera, then it'd probably be at the moment
the detective.
Oh,
my man was not ready for this question. Give us
no. I mean, like, because I feel like Remy's like my character, and then after that, I'm just kind of like,
you good? That's all you get. You ain't gotta care for nobody else.
Yeah, damn, it's
really that's it for now. No, Sera's easy. Sera's easy. Like,
I mean, I like Cecile. I just like Cecile because she likes to write her paper. I don't like her for no other reason than that.
No, I didn't mess with her at first, but after she called John out, I was like, okay, she raw. I could fuck with this. Cause finally somebody called her, she was like, you really enjoying beating these niggas' asses. You claim it's about taking the hierarchy down, but you enjoying beating everybody's ass.
And she still lost that argument, and she lost the hand argument. That's crazy.
Listen, the hand argument don't matter no more when you up against John. It only matter about what your words say.
He didn't win the mental argument either. She left the room. He had her spinning.
It's okay. Arlo made the power move. Go get Sera, and we good.
Yo, shout out to that though, cause I thank God somebody got common sense. I'm tired of writing in every form, like literature, whatever, no matter what type of medium it is, it's always the same. They can't tell these people are these people. I'm like, dog, don't you know? You know this nigga.
Where's
He's
Simi?
standing
Because
like
Simi be
5
out
feet
here
away from
screaming
you.
they can't talk or whatever. Where's the communication? Whatever Simi says.
Exactly. Like I would have been mad if Sarah was looking at John do the same shit he taught her, and she spent all day with this nigga for like the past 2 years, and she can't tell it's him. I was like, oh my god, thank God she
I
put
mean,
everything together.
one fun
Thank God she
scenario
was.
I would like to see, but I know it's not gonna happen. I would actually like to see John just like rule the school. Actually, just do it
But he
instead of
doesn't.
behind a mask.
I
He
mean,
doesn't
he
want to though.
he might.
No, I know
I
he
mean,
don't want to. I said I wish because that would just be
but Sarah,
entertaining.
but Sarah knows. So what's keeping him from going all off
No,
the
cause
deep end?
he doesn't know. He doesn't know that she knows.
But how, if we time skip, because if let's say we could either
Because he
we
doesn't want
could
to. He's already ruled. He's already ruled the school before, and
Well,
he absolutely
And
hated
he
it.
that
failed.
could be the thing that pushes him to be like
it,
rule the school
exactly
with the iron fist. I guess be a tyrant because she like
exactly because
don't mess with you no
he had
more.
a. Yeah,
Oh, I
he
said.
had that. She was that tether to not going back into that old shit. That's why he kept keeping everything on the low. You can't remember the only times he ever snapped out of that shit was when it always involved Seraphina. It was like, yo, nigga, you need to protect her. He kept snapping. Whenever it involved Seraphina, not the hierarchy. But now
I
that
did
that
want to
tether is
see.
gone,
I did want to see if Seraphina had like some parallels to that other girl. Well, I keep forgetting her name.
We just
The
call her
other
green
girl.
hair girl.
Claire.
Yeah, Claire. Yeah, if she has some, if I wonder if Uru-Chan's gonna have some parallels because Seraphine's so mad and so upset and feels so betrayed. She calls him a monster too, just
That
like
green
Claire
hair girl's
did.
still alive, right?
I think so.
She'll probably show up
I
at
don't
some
think.
point in time then.
I don't
See,
think.
I
Yeah, I don't
said,
think
I
she's
said that,
tripping.
I said that, I said that too. I said that too. I said, I wonder if she's gonna work for Ember or something.
Oh, that'd be
I
cool.
mean, they probably have to meet again. I mean, she's supposed to be like.
Yeah, I felt like she was involved so much. I feel like they really like emphasized the panels with her. Like she was very important to John. At first, I thought she was a love interest, but I was like, well, maybe she not.
Yeah, at first I was like, is it gonna be like a love triangle between like Sarah, John, and her or something like that later on? But I don't know.
Wouldn't it be interesting if after Sarah like cuts ties with John, he loses his shit and he, take quote unquote takes over school, so he goes that route, and then Ember comes in and Claire's a part of Ember, and she actually defeats John when he's at the head of the school and just sends him down.
Oh, see, I take that. Now, if I will take an L for that. If that happens, I will gladly take it. I just want to see that.
I think that'd be a really interesting path to go down. I don't know if Uru-Chan has any interest in that at all, but I think that'd be pretty interesting.
I think that's an excellent path. I don't think you could go. I mean, I don't feel like she had a lot of. The thing I like about her too is that I don't feel like she put herself in position where things can go wrong. Like she literally would have to do like make like the worst choices ever for her series to go wrong.
She would have to basically just do filler.
Make John like Kirby, like another series.
Yeah, or something.
What?
What? Dog, can't.
I don't slander that series no more. We good.
Yeah,
what series?
Exactly. That's exactly how.
But actually, shout out to her because that's something I noticed. Because I always, when y'all were reading it and then Vince was hyping it up, I was like, damn, Simi blitzed through it. So I know unordinary is really something special.
I really sold that series to him.
Yeah. Vince, shout out to Vince for pushing the agenda because that nigga had everybody reading that shit after that. But what I always wondered, I was like, yo, what can they really do with so many plot lines? Like, what can they really expand on? Like, usually, you into a series like, yo, they could go this route, they could go this route. But I was trying to figure out what can she really do, and she used what the fuck she had and build up little things like that. And it's like grander plot lines way down the line, but it's like the little stuff she builds up through there, and it's like the interactions are so good. It's just like I just keep wondering what the fuck I keep making. It's really good. What keeps me drawn in like the different plot lines, but I'm like I can't pinpoint it. It's just really just that fucking.
Well, for
good.
me, I think Unordinary is more like a character-oriented series rather than like because if you look at the world building, it's not like there's really that much. It's kind of like My Hero in the sense where there isn't really a world, or at least it didn't start out that way.
Yeah.
So you're talking to the god of My Hero, right? The god of My Hero.
I'm not gonna speak because then now it turns into something completely different.
He's not the god. He's the archbishop. But,
okay. my bad. You're right.
Well, it's kind of some of that one. I feel like I don't know. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't think Unordinary should be a series that goes on for too long. Because like after the Ember stuff, I think that's probably enough.
I
Honestly,
100% agree, but you never know with these webtoons. Like they just never know. But what I'll say is like I agree with you in terms of like with My Hero and unOrdinary's world. What I find is similar with them is just the fact that most people have powers. The difference being that in My Hero, it doesn't seem that like you're obviously being quirkless sucks, but you could still like find a good job and live your life normally. You're not gonna be completely shut from society. Like cops have jobs, people are pushing paper. You can do shit. In this world, you get put into some like low income community where shit happens. Where's Waldo head ass taking?
Right? Yeah, they treat you like a dummy. They treat you like a sweatshop. They be like, "Oh, you don't got no powers? Go be stupid. Go make shoes." Like, good
They demote you to
lord.
remedial life.
No, never mind. If I speak, then I'm just gonna
but
go
also
on rant.
what I like about it, and we can talk about this too, because I want to see what you guys think about this. Like I always say, that a lot of things we don't talk about when we're reading and watching stuff is like the lesson, like the big picture takeaway. And in a lot of ways, I feel like it emulates Mob Psycho, because Mob Psycho 100 is kind of about like you know how he's powerful he is, but he doesn't even care that he's an Esper. He just kind of just wants to work hard,
Be a regular person,
live his life normally. And it's like being talented doesn't give you the right to kind of berate everybody and have the world's rules bend in your favor. And I feel like unOrdinary kind of teaches a similar lesson with that, with the hierarchy and things of that nature. But I mean, I feel like everyone's, depending on your socialization and stuff, your takeaway may be different. Because like for me, I remember someone who said this when I was talking about something, and like, you don't get it because you've never been bullied. And I had to, I sat back for a second. I had to check myself. Like, hold on, am I being tone deaf? Because I was talking about, I can't remember what I was talking about in the series. Ultimately, that person was wrong. I was right, but
wow,
it was something related to Arlo. It was something related to Arlo. That's all I know.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but I mean, what do you guys think is like kind of like the lesson in the series that you've taken from it thus far?
Multiple lessons, to be honest.
If there's one overarching theme,
I think it's that life is really complex. Because obviously all these characters are coming from different vantage points, and like Remy and John's a good example of this, because Remy and John had a really good dialogue, and they're coming from two very different vantage points, and I think both of them are grounded in both, being correct while simultaneously, just kind of being either naive in Remy's case or just kind of bitter and kind of crazy in John's case. So. I think complexity and nuance is really the thing, like to life in general. Like you remove the superpower aspect of it, it just kind of reflects that life in general is just really complex and nuanced. At least
it gives me like every childhood lesson I've ever gotten growing up, pretty much. Because it's just like, first, there's always somebody stronger than you and bigger than you. It's like everybody who think they the baddest always get dropped, especially when they had like those turf wars or whatever at the beginning of the series where the schools were fighting against each other. It's like you only can stand on top for so long, and then when you're gone, things change.
Yeah, to me that speaks to real life. How it just shit is plain and simple. This shit is unfair, and ain't damn thing you can do about it.
You see what I was gonna hit that one too. But you
really ran up into the vigilante town. But what is one Remy gonna do against a whole fucking secret organization?
Hey.
How is she gonna help all these single people? One person gonna help all these single people. The shit she would have to go through, and the team she would have to gain in order to do something about that little town she's seen. That's not the only one. There are fucking hundreds of more towns, 20 more towns just like that shit. It ain't no fucking difference if you help one time.
There's always a bigger fish, bro. There's always a bigger
fish. Exactly. And you one little minnow swimming in the pond. You swim in the damn ocean with sharks and shit. They gonna whoop their ass.
I love how she does this stuff with like the balance between like, John's like kind of cynicism, nihilistic behavior, with Remy's idealism. It's like both of y'all wrong. Yeah. Both of y'all. And that's Arlo. And I like Arlo's from the sense that he's always struggled with that. Because he's like, I know both these things are wrong, but I don't know what's right but order. That's the only thing that seems that is like I'm pretty sure he knows order is not inherently perfect, but he's like, it's sure a damn better idea than what the rest of y'all doing. So I understand where he was coming from when he was doing that, because he just like, listen, because he wasn't really out here bullying people except for the people from the turf war. He was
Wait,
bullying
who?
them.
Arlo?
At first.
Yeah,
See,
because
he got caught. He got caught up. He got caught up later.
Let's be honest. Who did Arlo really pick on other than John? And he had his reason to pick on John. We gonna exclude everything he did, John. Who is he really picking on that didn't deserve it? He merely only stepped up the niggas that was doing bullshit.
Right. He was cleaning. He cleaned. He cleaned up.
But from what we know, he didn't bully anybody until John checked him. And then when John checked him, Arlo went to a whole PTSD kind of like
because he didn't like his defiance. He didn't like his defiance, and he didn't like that.
Yeah.
See, he's like a military. He's like a military commander. It's like if you in the military, somebody breaks the chain of command, the person who got a thing might lose their crap.
Arlo was cool with the defiance because every time someone defied him, he checked them. He put that little barrier up. He made them bow. But when it came to John, John's like, nah, I'm gonna kill you. Like, John checked him, and he's like, now he doesn't know. Now he doesn't know what to do. Ever since then, I think Arlo didn't know what to do.
That's kind of why I like Arlo a lot, because he reminds me of me in a lot of ways. Like,
once you got checked,
that's how you gonna be if you ever get checked.
Arlo,
you gonna be lost.
They're there and you just kind of fuse them. They remind me of me, right? Because
now you too much like Boya, bro. You ain't Arlo.
Oh wow. He is a lot like him. You know.
You're not wrong, but it was just that it took a really bad loss in sports for me to kind of stop being an asshole about it. I had to kind of just be like, damn, like this really is a team sport.
Damn, somebody really needs to beat his ass now. He gonna have a whole kid card.
Before that, or
we lost
the check?
We lost 9-2, and I just wasn't the same. I wasn't the same person after that game.
Oh, I would have just blamed everybody else. I don't know why you would have just blamed everybody.
I couldn't because I know it was my fault because I missed the penalty.
Fuck that shit. I would have still been like, yo, why did it come to a penalty? So y'all trash.
It was just crazy. But anyways, yeah, and I kind of like and like one of my favorite things about unOrdinary, like with John, is that he continues to struggle with getting over what happened. Right? It wasn't like a lot of shit does this where it's just like it takes one moment and then just like I'm a changed person all of a sudden. Like no, it's not that simple. Like as much as I rip on Berserk. Look how Casca's not getting over that shit easily. Like it's not that easy to get over. That shit is serious.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. That's why I hate this thumbnail that is up in the fucking YouTube because everybody looks so innocent
and happy.
And I'm like, yo, John looks so weeb, dude. I don't know when the last time I saw John smile was.
Unless he was John's slick down hair.
Unless he was faking it with Sera.
Or
I don't know.
Like a sinister smile because he's gonna do something. You know, he about to
make.
You
got
that black bubble with the dot. It's like, oh.
But yeah, it's like so you had this kid, right? You know, low tier or whatever, and then he kind of gets power. And I always say when you give like the marginalized, oppressed people like power to overwhelmingly overthrow their oppressors, they're gonna go out. That's just how it is. That's just how it is, right? Then he goes crazy, you know, beats up the whole school and kind of gets emotionally damaged from it. And then the Keon thing happens. He kind of tries to reform himself, comes back into this school, but you just thrown him back in the same environment. And that's
what's tragic.
And I always say, like, obviously Arlo did what he did, and Arlo goofed. But I always say that at some point he would have eventually broke and went back to this because he's in that environment. Arlo sped it up tenfold because he got rid of Sera. But this, like he said,
well, I don't know. John was kind of chilling for like over a year.
He was trying to
for a while, wasn't he?
He actually tried really hard.
I must say through all the constant battles and everything. You know what though? I think a lot of it had to do with Sera. You know what? I think about it. Maybe it's really the Sera thing that kind of made it.
Sera never really lost her abilities.
Sera needed to kind of be there to kind of hold them together, but
yeah.
Yes and no.
I think he eventually would have cracked at some point. That's what I think. Because I don't agree with him pretending to be a cripple. I don't think that was the answer.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
You bring this up. What I have as like a response is if Sera never lost his powers, would he ever have snapped to seeing her so defenseless? Because he was always defenseless.
Yeah.
But when she lost her powers and she almost got kidnapped and like fucked up, that's when I feel like something snapped in him. When he had someone to protect that couldn't protect themselves.
like I said, that was his own. That's why he's really finna go. I feel like he's going to defend because that was his
Yeah.
only test. He cares about two people in this damn series:
His dad and
his
Sarah.
daddy and his Sarah. You took his daddy is somewhere else, and his dad don't know what the fuck going on in his life. He lied.
He
to his
doesn't
wife.
even
Writing, leave
care
him
about his
alone.
dad.
He's got writing to do.
And then you got Sarah, who's there consistently on a consistent basis. He cares about 24/7, tenfold. Now, not only is she crippled, and then now she knows the truth that this nigga lied to her. He lost his only tether. You can't do
Yeah.
that to people that's already mentally ill.
Maybe
It's like
he
They
didn't
become a
have
school
to.
shooter.
That's like
Maybe it's
that's like
just he didn't have to worry
if
about
we in
her.
a psycho ward and I took away the one of the psycho's toys, like he got like a rattle that make him happy, right? Ooh, I take it away from him. That's the only thing keep him calm and comfort. That
Get a little
motherfucker
two
will beat
he's.
all of our asses. Okay? That's his one thing. That's the one tether he got. Once you take that away, that's that last thread. That shit snap. That
That's
nigga was
facts.
already on his warpath. That nigga has completely. Once he find out Sarah is done, because you can say what you want. Yeah, Arlo did what he did. That's irrelevant to the fact that before he even knew Arlo and even talked to Arlo, specifically, he lied to Sarah. Sarah not finna. What? Excuse me. He had to lie to Sarah before
But
that.
it's
Maybe
different
after
because of
Arlo and the Joker, but
the reason in which, like the context in which case he's lying. Because once he never had to defend Sarah, Sarah could always defend herself. When Sarah lost his powers,
Her.
lost her powers, that's when shit changed.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
when he stepped on Arlo. He's like, "Yo, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, this is your
And
kingdom."
also, she wouldn't have cared. She wouldn't have cared. You got to realize something. When before she was a cripple,
That's
she
true.
she cared about John, but she couldn't empathize with him. She really didn't truly understand. And that's what Nye was saying was like her whole foundation built on life, because the reason that was keeping her going in the first place is because she was like, oh, John goes through this every day. If he would have told her that she wasn't a cripple,
I don't
he
think.
wasn't a cripple when she
Okay,
had powers, I don't think she would have cared. She would be like, why you lie about something so stupid? Like, why you get beat
I
up? But now
I
it's
kind of
different.
disagree in that because the life he chose was to be a cripple, and he was okay with that because.
No, I agree with that, but I'm
Wow.
talking about she wouldn't have cared. She wouldn't have cared.
Why not?
Here's the thing.
Because why would? Because she wouldn't care about that, because that wouldn't have had nothing to do with their
But he never
friendship.
used his powers anyways.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When she had her powers, she wouldn't have cared if he would have told her, because it wouldn't have changed their dynamics. She probably would have just asked him why he lied about something so stupid, or why he didn't protect himself.
Yeah, I agree with that. It wouldn't get to the point where it would actually damage their friendship to the point where there might not be a way of coming back.
Yeah. But
Nah, here's the thing.
But now it's
like
too
how she how she just didn't get it until it happened to her. Like you could always talk and pretend, you can always empathize and sympathize with something, but until you really go through it, you can never truly know someone's struggle.
Right.
And like I said, like the fact that he continues to struggle with this dark side of himself, like the duality of John, is like, I think it's really good, because it's just not that simple to get over, certain things like that and change for the better or whatever the case.
That's realistic. Most people regress to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, as much as like even like myself as an example, like I want to say I was probably 18 that when I just stopped arguing with refs. Finally, just stopped. This wasn't worth it. I thought to myself, when was the one time I ref did something, I argued with them, and he's like, you know what, you're right. Let me reverse that call. And I just stopped arguing with that one day. Like it didn't come that easy. Like it took me, even after that loss, it probably took like a year and a half to start to really like be a better teammate and such things of that nature.
Damn,
bro, people suck.
Jesus Christ!
That nigga was a horrible teammate.
Is that Remy?
Really
Oh my goodness! I want the 30-on-30 on this man teammate. Like, good lord, they hated him in that locker room. Couldn't say nothing though. He was the best player.
He's the best player.
You got that Kobe Bryant locker room. Can't say nothing. He dropped 40.
They coming and yelling at you. Yo, East, what were you doing?
Hey man, talent gets away with a lot. When you talented, and that's the whole unordinary world. You get away with a lot.
It's a hierarchy in sports, man. No one cares.
Him is coming snatching niggas' jerseys and shit. You off the team.
He pulling a full LeBron. He firing coaches and shit. Get off. No.
Yo, what was that play? They gonna listen. They don't look at the coach. They look at him.
Okay, so another thing I want to ask you guys is, what do you guys favor like interpersonal relationships in the series? You know, like Blake, Remy, the trio, maybe the kind of back and forth with seesaw effect with like John and on Arlo.
John and Arlo
Sarah,
is
John. What's your
my
relationship?
favorite.
John
I would
Arlo,
like to
John
say,
and Arlo's my favorite, I think.
Yeah,
I
John
think
Arlo.
the most
Wrong.
the person with most progression is probably Blake. Honestly, because Blake is the only one who saw. Okay, obviously it was too late, but Blake is the only one who saw John and is like, hey, maybe I could like, okay, he's my roommate. Maybe I could try to be friends with him.
Okay.
Once
Nobody
again,
else tried to spit this whole difference in hierarchy. Nobody else saw the difference in hierarchy. Everybody's just like, hey,
Because
on top,
Remy literally didn't see it.
Yeah,
She
Remy's
literally
retarded,
didn't know
but-
it didn't exist. It was that bad. I was like,
but
wow.
Blake is the only one that's like, okay, he's my roommate. Fuck all that shit. I'm gonna try to befriend him. And then obviously John was ignorant, but
No,
Blake
no,
at least
ignorant?
no,
He was
sir,
ignorant.
that's
He
wrong.
tried
That's
to-
wrong.
Ignorant.
He shot
tried
a
to-
beam
I mean, he
at
tried
his
to
head.
behead
He
him.
shot a
He
beam at his
shot
head.
his,
Me and
Okay.
Vince had this discussion so many times,
Okay.
dog.
But Blake tried, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get you. I feel you, but that's like if I tried to make you play like Russian roulette. You're not gonna be friends with me after that. Like, come on, bro. Like, I can do all the things I want. Like,
After
bro,
you
why don't
already
you
tried
come
to shoot
over?
me in the head, no, I
Yeah.
wouldn't trust you if you gave me the gun.
Yeah, bro.
You
I'll
trying
be
to get some
like,
ice cream, bro?
yeah, and I'm like, come on, bro. You know I was just playing.
Glad would
Like,
agree with
come
you
on,
with
bro.
the Blake thing, by the way. He said he likes how Blake constantly kept trying to be open,
Mhm.
and John kept shutting him down.
Yeah, Blake's a cool character. I like
At
him.
least 3 times I remember he tried to befriend John, and John is just like, no, fuck y'all, niggas. Y'all too late.
Yeah, I feel that, but John was already untrusting. I mean, I remember the thing he said about like, like the weak people, like the people that were weak too. He was just like, he's like, I tried to help them too, but they unappreciative and they, they were trying to bully me too. So it's just like, screw everybody.
What about
That's
you,
not bad.
BMC?
Like, I think the thing with that is, it always sort of, a lot of that stuff kind of, excuse me, to me, because if you, let's say, like, like, I think Blake, he has to know who's on, like, the hierarchy, even if John hasn't like sort of said it out loud or anything like that. He's got to know, like, oh, position. He probably doesn't like the fact that I'm Jack. Like, he probably doesn't like the fact that I'm like at this sort of like high, like sort of like tier or
That's interesting.
So it's like you're still part of this system. Like, you're still perpetuating it, but you want to come to me and talk about, hey, let's go out and have some bubble tea.
Okay.
Like, dude, and the thing for me is like, when you like understand Blake's, like, I understand him trying, but it's like harder than just like, hey, want to do this thing? Like, it even starting small doesn't particularly work, right? And we'd have to know it's not going to work with John because John's trauma is so deep.
No, but he just had that
like,
problem. But he just had that problem with Arlo. That's why it wasn't going to work. He tried that with Arlo already.
No, but for any general aspect, what else would Blake do? What else do you expect him to do?
What I'm saying is like, you have to do something that like showcases your disdain of the systems that John.
Yeah,
you thought he should relate for John's aspect?
I mean, he did.
It's
a couple of times. He did.
It would have had to took something extreme.
Wait, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Give him a chance. It would have had to been like it would have had to been something like Arlo trying to attack John and Blake stepping in and fighting for him.
Oh,
like, it would have took that level of extreme.
No, that would not happen because.
No, it wouldn't. But that's what I'm saying. That's the level of extreme it would have to take for John to start to believe him.
That only tells how far gone John is. Where
yeah, but that's any angry little kid.
Yes and no.
You can't just do that. You can't just fix him just because you're nice to him.
He can beat the system. For any kid,
even if you don't know, if you got a revenge, if you're a vengeful person, you're not just gonna forgive people just because they say they're sorry.
For any normal kid, which is why Blake wasn't wrong. For any normal kid that's in the system, hey, you're gonna take whatever chance you could get. But John
No,
always
Light
felt
should've
he
just
was
been
always
nicer,
above
fuck
of
it.
it. He always felt like he could beat it, so he was never really a part of it.
Yeah, I'll say this, right? Because I didn't pick up on this earlier. I don't know. I don't know how many of you guys had this happen to you. I was actually genuine. I feel pretty stupid because I'm really good at picking these things out because I'm pretty like I read a lot. When John had powers, I was shocked.
Nuts.
No, I wasn't at all.
Okay, I think you're just blind.
I think there's a point where they're hinting at it, and I started to think of it. But like, I actually legitimately thought this dude was a cripple for like.
You thought he was just that cocky?
You thought it was like a double on, it was like a double juke.
I'm like, he has to have like low key insane hands or something. Like, I didn't think he had powers though, and I
thought he was garbage.
I mean, you're not wrong. He does have.
No,
hands.
I just didn't know it was going to be to that level, and she did pump fake you a little bit because I wasn't sure until the guy tried to do the reading.
Yeah, that's
I wasn't 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, then after he tried to do the reading, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's confirmed.
And
but I
plus,
wasn't.
whenever
I
he
can't
found out
act
the
like,
invisible guy was there, whenever he was chasing him, he was like turned around and fucking wrecked him.
I wasn't 100% sure till then though, because I was like, okay, I don't maybe.
That's on me. That's on me. I was blamed it. That was on me.
I figured something was up when he knocked that. What's his name? Zeke. When he knocked Zeke's ass out the window, I was like, okay, that's kind of iffy. But
I mean,
I'm gonna give the story.
I think with that, your ability's not that raw. Like you turn to a rock. Like you just kind of like I feel like yeah, you know, like there's certain like.
But if you have no powers, you shouldn't be able to knock
It's like
that
how
guy
I used
out.
I used to always say this when I was younger. I'm like, I hate Cyclops because I feel like I could beat Cyclops. If I go to a crowded area to fight him, what's he gonna do? Take off his glasses to optic blast everybody? Like,
Facts. That's why I didn't like Cyclops. That's why I didn't like Cyclops either.
He gonna yell your name. Naya, stop!
I'm like, I could take him.
Also, I just didn't like his person. I ain't like the man. I ain't like nothing about him. I was just like, bro.
Annoying. Yeah, I've never been a fan of Cyclops.
John was really
Scott Summers not hitting.
He's come a long way, but still not my guy.
The drip, nigga, what? The raw?
I only like Cyclops after I learned his kid was Havoc.
Oh, okay,
So
that's fair.
I wouldn't know.
But shit,
Hey, can I ask a question?
go ahead.
What's up?
Yeah, sure.
No.
Okay.
Redacted.
Shitting me. Anyway, goddamn. Whose side are y'all taking? Y'all got three choices. Whose side are y'all taking?
Nobody.
Y'all take it. Y'all not talking like y'all had to pick a side to stand on. Like as far as like, not like them personally, but their views and stuff. Arlo, John, or Remy. Whose side would you?
Arlo.
Whose side would
Are you
take?
talking about in real? If you were talking about if I was actually in the story, or
If you was actually
happened?
in that, let's say you was like actually in their world,
Wait,
followed
at
by
which
their
point?
worlds.
At which
like,
point?
This is
Because Arlo is the only one who I think changes
half
mindset.
later on.
Arlo's start at the beginning of the story is different from how he is after he got checked.
He went from
Okay, let's say you
to
are.
goat.
I'm a fault. You
Goat
doing?
mode.
Are you doing Arlo's order? Are you doing John's taking down the hierarchy?
wait,
or are you
real
doing?
quick,
Well, for me, I think the entire point of the series is that
Remy
none of
doesn't
them are right.
Yeah.
Remy doesn't change. She's ignorant.
Yeah. to the
Arlo
fact, so-
changes. John, I think, doesn't really change. It's
I
only
would have moved to another city. That's what I would have my choice. And I'd be like, everybody here is insane. That's what I would have did.
It's hard to really say who I side with, but
If I'm the mid tier
this
in the
world-
story, I'm
in
taking.
this world, especially well, how old are they? Like what, 16, 17?
yeah, around.
I'm definitely John. Petty.
Yeah.
I want
Me
nothing
too.
to go. You stole a pencil from me in the second
I'm 25.
semester.
I'm still petty.
coming for you.
Don't
Bag on the head.
He's not 25. and I'm still-
I'm 25. I'm
now,
still
if you ask me what character I kind of would have been in this world, like as a younger person, it probably would have been Cecile or Blake. It'd
Sim?
been one of those two.
I'm that kid getting bullied.
Probably Ray, to be honest.
Oh my,
Him?
dead?
Bruh,
Man,
him
you gonna be
would've been
that? You gonna be that happy? Nah, bro. You Kobe, bro. You definitely Arlo.
No, but I got along with everybody though. Like I'm gonna lie to you. Like I was a
Till he got mad.
Think about me. I could talk to anybody. It didn't matter what you were into, what you did,
What
you
about
looked like.
Eason? That would be Eason,
I
right?
could talk to anyone. Like bro, music, drama.
I say
sports,
Cecile because she was just very like focused on doing her thing. Like she was part of the hierarchy, and she might have did some stuff here and there, but for the most part, she just kind of mind her business.
No, she
And
was
that's the
pretty
type of
strong.
person. But even if you a mid rank, how many people gonna mess with you? It's only if you're a low tier that your life's gonna fucking suck. If you're a mid tier, you just stay away from shit.
I'll
You
keep
know
the
this better.
I'd be
batarang on
Remy.
me.
I'd be Remy because like I'd be Remy.
So you gonna be
'cause, like,
complete ignorant to everything going on around you?
exactly. Like I'm focusing on myself, my family, and we chilling.
Oh,
I'm not paying attention to none of y'all
oh
niggas.
shit! Here goes this nigga Darius in the chat. Oh boy.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Are you coming?
You let that nigga in, it's over with.
yeah, John the Gold. Y'all over. So y'all think I'm bad? I was capping for John. That's the ultimate John stand.
Yeah, he's number one.
Undefeated.
Funny.
Principle and just rule
Real
over
quick,
everybody.
I get the answer. My favorite relationship is Arlo and the hierarchy. I'm so intrigued on why he believes in it.
Arlo
so much.
what?
And the hierarchy.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's interesting.
Yeah, because I'm intrigued. I really want to get at some point some like more backstory to him and how he was raised and how he came up. Because I want to know like why did he care about it so much? And like the thing about me with him is I feel like there was like he's changed a lot and he's trying to change for the better. That's not the other, but I feel like there was a point where I feel like maybe he could have gotten with the idea that everyone does their own thing. But when Ray was the king, everyone was cool, getting along, low tiers, mid tiers, high tiers, all that kind of stuff. And then as soon as the vacancy was gone, all the high tiers who felt slighted by the fact they had to even mingle with the low tier, and then the low tiers who were told, reach for the sky, you can do anything if you try hard enough. All Arlo ended up seeing after that was disarray and chaos, anarchy. So he went and personally beat everyone's ass back into place and reestablished it. Because for him, it's like it worked. Maybe it worked until it didn't work. But I think a thing a lot of people didn't get is that they only listened to Ray because no one could check him. Ray was the strongest, right?
That's facts.
What were you gonna say to him? So once he did, it's like okay, we can go back to how it's supposed to be. So I always found his fascination or like his belief in the hierarchy to be interesting, and I hope at some point we get to like explore that.
I don't know how I always saw it with Arlo was that he was a kid of power that came into a school where power was everything, and then he met Ray, and Ray sort of changed his mindset until he became king. I don't think Arlo was ever fit to be a leader. I think when he inherited leader, he didn't know how to do shit, and then everybody else put him into the thing where our hierarchy was GOAT. Because Ray already destroyed that.
Also, his big thing too is that he hated Seraphina and John from the fact that they have all this power and they don't do nothing.
But
he's like, y'all got all this power and y'all want to stay out.
How they make it seem is that he doesn't like Sera not being part of the hierarchy because it doesn't benefit him. Because
he got to, like you said,
he always wanted Sera back in the hierarchy. John, he always wonders like, why the fuck is this girl with John? John is a cripple. Like, what the hell is she doing? She could be with the goats, like the royals, like us, but she's with this idiot. I think, and at the beginning of the story, that's how he came off as. And then when he got checked, this guy went to PTSD mode. He doesn't even know how to. He doesn't know how to rule anymore. Everything got checked because John, in my opinion, John reminded him of Ray.
Yeah. Well, also, when you've been sitting on the throne. Like I said, you've been sitting on the throne so long, you get comfortable. Yeah. I mean, nobody in that school could check up. Like I said, nobody even in this series seems to even get like stronger.
The
I don't
only
know
one
if it's
that
so
could
minuscule.
check him retired from the role, which is Sera.
Yeah.
That's the only person that could check him, and then she retired. So he's like, "Fuck it, whatever." She doesn't even want it. What's gonna happen?
I really liked her her journey. Like I always call it like quote in quotations her fall from grace, but it's just really her kind of like being her truest self. Ray is Remy's brother, Quinn. With the I think he was green. I think he had green hair.
Yeah, he did.
Like green, yeah.
Like green hair.
Burnt toast.
Yeah, her like fall from grace, meeting John and not getting the best marks and kind of taking it. She took it too easy a little bit. Now she just game in and whatnot. But I mean, she's smart enough to just get her grades up or whatever, so she can do what she's doing. But yeah. Oh, I got you. Sorry, I didn't catch that. It's an Evangelion joke. I got you.
But you know what I didn't understand about that? If your power is so good, if you're so strong, power sense, why do you care about studies so much?
Pressure.
Am I wrong?
Yeah,
Like
household expectation.
Yeah, it was like
that was ingrained to her from her family.
Because she's so. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
But she can literally control time around her.
But it doesn't matter. It's like you still listen. You could beat your parents up, but you still listen to them, right?
And she still did both, so it doesn't mean.
But that's the thing. It's just like especially when adult figures and stuff have expectations for you, you follow. You try to do your best to uphold them, unless you have a rebellious personality.
It's not enough to just excel. Okay, she has these powers, but what do? Okay, she train in martial arts. What else is important? Have the best marks in every single class. Like they want you to be the best at everything. So the pressure on her was to always be the greatest. Absolutely concede to.
But I feel like she didn't have to take it so far where maybe she got a B.
Because you got to remember her sister. You remember her sister fell from grace.
But wait,
that too.
Then again, we don't know anything about her sister because her parents
supposed to be a failure.
But she's a failure. Yeah, she's a failure.
So they don't want that. They don't want them to repeat. Like, okay, we have the second. You know how you ever hear the saying like the first child's a test child, the second child is what you do the ratio with. So now they have.
I hear that all the time.
She's the child you got to get right because the first one was the failure, the prototype. She didn't do what they wanted. So yeah.
Yeah. So they seen the first one fall out of line and not show respect or however she did it. Of course, she didn't show respect because she ran away, did her own thing. So they like, okay, we know that we let her have too much freedom. We let her do this. We let her do that. So we gonna run Sera on this fucking strict ass schedule, just that and the other. And it's like I forgot what I did see is like, drawback to John and old dude's name. What's his name? The one that beat him up. The detective. Keon, yeah, it's like okay, John is probably stronger than Keon now, and John don't fear nobody, but it's that past authority, that fear he put into that nigga heart.
Yeah, cause I'm pretty sure he could beat the crap out of that dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure now he could, but he's seen him. When have you ever seen John be shook? Actually, when he seen that nigga, he started acting different. He was like, okay,
can I do a hot take here? I don't think Keon was ever stronger than John. I think
I agree. I agree with you.
That's not a hot take.
Mentally strong and
when Keon approached John, I think John was new in his powers and he didn't really know how to use them. So, because that's when, off the flashbacks, John was new in his powers, beat the shit out of his school, became king.
He dusted.
No, I don't. No, I think you're looking at it wrong because remember even when they got caught, like I think Remy, Easton, I think and Blake got caught at the shot at the mall. Yeah, they can just break out and do what they want, but the point is that's the authorities, and now that just had another level of headache to it, right? So it wasn't that he couldn't just take out Keon. It was just Keon. It was just like.
I think
that's
John.
That's an authority figure that's related to the authorities, and doing that now, just causes a whole another headache. So he just listened and complied to a certain degree.
I guess it depends on how we think of John's power, because I don't think of John's power. Do you guys think powers can evolve, can grow in the story?
They do. We know that for a fact because some of them were a certain level and now they're a higher level.
So, John he already tried to not use his powers since Keon, and he can already double up, beat the dog shit out of Arlo, which is what, a 6? Arlo was a 6 or a 5.
I believe he's a 6 or 6 point something. I'll check.
Yeah, and that's high tier, and he could beat the shit out of him and 2 other guys, 1v3. I wouldn't want to know what Keon. Maybe he can't copy Keon's powers, but.
Yeah, but I don't. But he never tried to fight him. I think he just, like I said, it's a position thing, right? It's like, okay, let's say someone's in. Let's say just like someone in the police, right? Like, I know mixed martial arts. Like, yo, I can beat this nigga's ass, but this is the police. It's a police officer. I'm not gonna beat his ass.
Right.
That's gonna cause me another level of headache, charges, law. I'm not doing all that. So
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just about. That's what I was just about to say.
He would be stupid to do that at that point.
I see how you
But at that point, he was fresh too. Now I think he would step up because he's so rebellious.
But that will just make him an enemy of the entire world at that point, and all he's gonna be doing is fighting all the time, and you can't.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not smart. That's literally like,
But wasn't his biggest fear governing? Wasn't his biggest fear just ruling? If he doesn't have to rule, if he just has to run, I don't think he has to care.
Arlo is a 6.3.
Trash. Garbo.
And it's God tier. He's in the God tier.
Is it garbage?
That is garbage.
No, the fuck is not. No, the fuck is not.
6 out of 10. Yeah, that's garbage.
Who you seen as 10 other than John?
Which is the last girl you rated 6 out of 10?
Me.
Wow.
Most girls on any Twitter, to be honest.
That's
see how it changed.
It's not important, but
I think like what you're saying about whether he was gonna use his powers against Keon when he was being interrogated and all that stuff. Like I think really great is really well is like pushes this like very like true, right? This like very like factual like notion of like full like trauma is and what that does and how it affects you like mentally and physically. So like when John, like he's legit making him relive like he's been dealing with and all the stuff that like literally like puts it like if it makes him freeze. You know what I mean? Like he can't do anything. Like he's just like.
I mean, he is cuffed.
No. But what I'm saying is like it's like that. It's not just like the cuff. If it was just a cuff, like yeah, he'd probably be like, all right, let me get out of here.
He's making them relive every moment he doesn't want to relive.
Oh, is this the interrogation?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying is like
Keon and his powers.
You know what I mean? It's like that has an effect on John. Like it's like the like where John's focus is, what he's thinking about. Like at that point when Keon's like doing it to me, he's not thinking like, oh man, I gotta slam this guy through a window, through the wall or whatever. He's thinking about the stuff that he's reliving. You know what I mean? So like it's like Keon's like slick. You know what I mean? Like he's that's why he's an interrogator. Because he knows that John's stronger than him mentally. And like
I wouldn't think
John is strong. Like to me, John is stronger than Keon at that point.
Obviously,
definitely.
Yeah, he is. He
right?
is.
Like that's clear. So it's like why is it that John does not right? Like so we have to like think like why isn't John just throwing this man through a window?
We know. We just explained it because physicality is not everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that's just what it is. Like.
Okay, now the only thing I haven't thought of since you brought this up is who the hell held John down when his on his massacre? Who's the one that kept him?
I think he actually got expelled. I don't think he lost. He didn't lose any particular. It was just that they were like,
yeah,
you're
but who's the one that cuffed him?
You're doing
I would be
too much.
scared if I was to have to cuff the guy that ate 18 other powers.
Well, we don't know how much he can. I mean, like I said, but like, I feel like when he was the new king of Boston, all that happened, you can see that in a lot of ways. There was a part of him that was confused, like how did this happen or why did this happen? Like he was.
I don't think so.
You could see he obviously he's mad and upset, but there's a part of him that's remorseful because you could tell that because he tried to legitimately make a change.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
wait, hold on. He related enough. That he's like, okay, yo, I gotta kind of do better. And I don't think, like I said, Keon is friggin'
method.
Like
ridiculous.
That's crazy. But when he's with his dad, he's reading unOrdinary, and he's like, spending the year with his dad off trading and hanging out with him, and he comes back with the slick hair. Like you can see that he's genuinely trying to make some type of change, which means to some degree he understands that his actions are wrong, and he does know that because he doesn't want to be the king. He knows basically he's one of those people who understand like, okay, yo, I don't have a middle ground. I'm like all the way here, or I fall off the cliff entirely, and I'm just a tyrant monster. and he kind of gets that. He understands that, but it's just like Arlo kind of broke him, and he's like, yo, man, fuck all these people. But he knows that he can't really lead the school. He doesn't want to lead the school because he knows what happened in the first place. So it's like I love the series because like I said, no one is right. Everyone just has their own personal issues and problems they're trying to get over. Like no one is really in the right here, which I really love about it. But yeah, like,
okay. So
Keon big whack. Keon the GOAT. Glam. He the
Just get him out of here.
so let me ask you guys.
Go ahead.
Do you guys stand on John's side? Is he wrong or is he overreacting for how he sees the hierarchy?
No, he's
of course he's doing this because he's being petty. He don't actually get the man stood out of this the entire time. He's only doing this to get back at Arlo. There's no plan. Like when I was talking about like this doesn't fix anything. I was like, bro, he not trying to fix anything. This is all out of pettiness. He's just trying to beat people up.
True, because he's always cared about hierarchies to some extent.
But does that mean
he didn't care enough to act at all? It wasn't until Arlo did his thing that.
John he don't give a crap. He don't give a crap about the hierarchy.
Okay, that's cool. But if you think he's psycho for it, do you agree with the hierarchy then?
No, he's psycho because he's indiscriminately beating up people and like beating them to like near death.
I mean, he only beat people up that abused the hierarchy.
No, Remy never did. Remy never did. And technically, Cecile had no beef. He had no beef with Simi. He had no beef with Cecile either. The only two people he should have had beef with, well, three, I guess, is Blake, Isaac, and Arlo.
That's a good point, Hunter. By the way, that's a good point.
That green-haired bitch too.
Oh yeah, her too.
John's just an angry little man. That's really all it is.
Is there a story about child soldier or something? No.
There was no plan. There was no future action because people used to say it. People used to act like, "Oh, what is he doing? Why is he doing?" I'm like, bro, this is just pure pettiness. It's like when somebody takes your toy or something, and you go and you take their stuff. It's like there's no plan.
Okay,
there's no fix anything.
So
I got a question for everybody.
Wait. To answer your initial question, for me, it's I could understand why John feels the way he feels. I just don't agree with how far he's taken it. With me, if it was me personally beating Arlo's ass and being like, "Yo, don't you ever in your life step to me?"
Yeah, that would have been enough.
That's enough. I'm good. I'll reset. Go back. Me and Sera drinking bubble tea. Yeah, woo, have a good time. Like that's all I needed. I'm good. He took this shit above and beyond. And I promise you, once Sera lost her powers, I come clean. I have powers. I got you. You good. Don't worry about nothing. That's just me.
In fact, that's another thing he could have did. Yeah, that's because he literally could have had the reverse role of what Sera had in the start of the series. He could have been the strongest person in the school and still been like, Arlo, you run the school.
But he didn't want it. And if he was the strongest person in the school, it would go against the hierarchy if he didn't want it.
He'd become part of the thing he doesn't believe in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was that's the issue, but that's why he's doing the thing he's doing because it makes sense to him. Like me,
he's doing what he's doing because he's psycho. But I love that he's psycho. So I'm gonna ride or die because he's psycho. You guys don't think he's psycho?
I don't think it's that crazy because I legitimately I see like what everybody think. Everybody's a hothead. We had a discussion where these dudes talked about if somebody talked about their dead relative and they said, well, they're just gonna keep trying to fight them even if they know clearly they're gonna lose and stuff like that. Like that's psycho. So like that's like clearly you know he's stronger than you every way, but you still gotta fight him anyway with like no plan and just trying to physically fight him. That's psycho to me. So everybody pretty psycho to me. I'm a schemer. I'm a plotter. I'm a scout.
Clearly has like anger management issues, but I think the thing is that we're looking at from they're in a completely different. I mean, not to say
it's a totally different world.
Dramatic irony. We're looking at from us looking in.
Okay, you know, just walk up in a hallway and just beat the shit out of somebody just because they're weaker than you. That's just kind of the way it is there.
It's not that crazy either because Blake almost killed him and shot a beam at his head. Like that's crazy too.
Just try to beat the shit out of everybody.
Like everybody in this world is pretty insane in one way or another. So like, and plus he ain't killed nobody. If he killed somebody, I'd be like, wow.
Well, I mean, they're insane to us just because of how we're viewing.
But that's but the craziest part is that we have to say, oh, but if he killed someone, it would be different.
Has he killed anybody?
Between killing and beating between a pulp is nuts in this story.
But Arlo almost did the exact same thing with those people.
John punted a girl into a staircase.
And he was right.
That's nuts.
She deserved every bit of that.
She did, but that's what's nuts.
Everybody in this story is nuts, though. You're trying to single point and pinpoint John for being nuts. Everybody's nuts.
That's my point. It's nuts. But...
That's why I said I would have left this town, because there's no reason to be here. If there's any place that's better, I'm going to that place. No, I can't stay here.
You can go to that town that Remy had visited. They got that old boy out there, you know.
They're coming down to sell drugs to me and stuff. I gotta take them.
She had 2 old homes.
I'll go enter the tower before I live in this town.
I don't know about all that now.
Oh yeah, I don't know, bro. People like Calvin pulling up on me,
We'd all be irregulars. So.
Hey, never mind. Hey,
we in that tower.
Wait,
you think any of us matching Kirby?
Imagine living in a town.
You can always stay on floor 2.
High school student.
You may not be Kirby, but you could be Rex. That's pretty good.
Hey, you right. That is.
You can always stay on floor 2.
Hey, you right. If you make
you ain't gotta go nowhere. You ain't gotta go nowhere.
Hey, if you think about it though, if all of us hop in at the same time as the regulars, it's gonna be the same shit as the regular test.
Oh wow!
So when we start slaughtering each other,
warrior, so we out here.
Okay.
Nah, I'm doing like some of them. I mean, these floors are 3 times the size of North America. I'm just picking a floor. I'd be like, you know what? They got nice stores, a nice decay, some nice aesthetic. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
What Simi said that one day? What Simi said that one day? He was like,
"That because you read too much One Piece. That's why you going to the top. I'm good." You can call if you need help. If you need help, I got.
What happened to One Piece?
Because you got that adventure, bro. You got that adventure in you. I ain't got it. I ain't got it. I don't want to see. I don't want to see what the One Piece look like. Cause I'm good. Like I see y'all all fighting for it. I'm good. We straight.
Vince gonna be one of those regulars that started climbing and just stop and just.
Yeah, you damn right. You damn right. Listen, you need a helping hand. You need a teacher. I got you. But all that fighting jihad and all that other and fighting my girl Dory the Hitman Heart, we good.
Hold on, Danny, are you there? Wait, hold on, Danny, you there?
Yo, yeah, I'm here.
What's good, man?
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm not trying to get clapped by the Hitman.
How you doing, bro?
Tired from work, but
Brett the Hitman or Dan the Hitman?
I feel you.
No, Dory the Hitman Heart.
Yo, Danny, how you feel about the ending of season 1, man?
I'm just really happy that John beat the shit out of everybody.
Facts. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean that's my boy.
Why are you happy?
Don't question me. Don't question me on this.
No.
He's
how you
raw
gonna join the discussion, not discuss?
You really trying to change?
Because I'm a meathead and
All right, see,
he's just raw, man.
That's a good answer.
All right, yo, let me discuss. Okay, tell me where I'm wrong. I'm gonna try to discuss for you.
Right,
John is the goat. Arlo is the trash. Remy is
retarded. I'm not gonna say. Wait, I'm
is
not
that
gonna
right?
say Arlo is trash. I'm not gonna say Remy is retarded. In a sense, everybody is wrong, but also in a sense,
John is not wrong.
Everybody's kind of right.
Right.
Wow,
that's the beauty of the story.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Political much, or
no? That's just
political.
That makes sense. So John's a psychopath. Arlo thinks he can hold down this hierarchy. Remy's like naive, but at the same time, they've all made their points. I think the writing's on point in this webtoon.
Yo, how did you guys get Bernie Sanders' Discord?
Wow.
What happened here?
Wow.
What happened?
Wait, the joke flew right by me. What?
Yeah, so it's low key same, but I laughed anyways. But
it's good. It's
because you're from Canada, you don't know who that is.
The facts.
What?
You stereotyping not?
Why would you know who an American politician is? You wouldn't, would you?
Yeah,
No,
no,
but
he
he ran
bad
for
teammate,
president.
what's
So
going
You
on
guys
here.
realize
he
that?
ran for
No,
president.
because this is stupid. First of all, you
I
realize
wait.
that things that happen in your country still affect us to some degree. Yes.
Yeah, I know, but he didn't win the presidential debate. He wasn't even in like the
That's the
complete
point.
runner. He dropped
still
out early.
ran. I know who the fuck.
Who, Berninder?
I know who a
Nah.
United States senator
I
is. Are you
Nah,
I
serious?
think,
Nah,
man,
but,
and listen,
but,
I live in a
but
box.
that's just like
I don't know no Canadian senator. I don't even know
That's
who your
your
prime
ignorance.
minister
Don't talk
is.
about
yeah,
me.
that's facts.
What you talking
don't
about?
read.
Yo, ignorant. You just
We
go
argue
around
about
Kangen and buying
politics.
$500 for books. I'm
I
surprised
read.
you know
I
anything.
look up. I know my politics. Don't.
No, you don't. Shut your lying ass up. You don't know shit, boy.
Typical of an American.
And you're
Clown
lying.
someone
just
for
learned
how
you
don't
much.
know.
I'm an
mistakes.
expert
don't
on
know,
American
man.
politics, but I
Unordinary. How
keep
did
my
this turn
ear
to
to the
politics?
ground.
He out here like, look at this enormous cap. He really so act like he's so insulted that I asked him that, bro.
Hey, yo,
You
back
literally,
to
you literally tell me all the time that I talk to you, I don't do
You
nothing.
said Bernie Sanders of all people. Like I don't see him on Twitter every
Right.
day.
Okay, see, I was gonna say that.
It's
I
not
said
like
you might
you
know
brought
him
up some
on
low
Twitter.
key politician.
No,
I never
bro,
heard of.
you act like you went and you
Wait.
Googled his whole life and you researched him. You did not do that, bro.
Vince, you don't know who Trudeau is?
Nope.
No, I don't.
Oh wow.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Your point stands then. That's
but you
Hey.
guys know what a Putin is,
that's
right?
really ignorant. That's crazy.
You guys know what a
Hey,
Putin is?
here's the thing.
Yeah, I know that.
What I say?
You
I'm Remy.
You don't know who
I'm
our
Remy.
quote
I'm
unquote
ignorant
president
on
is,
here,
bro.
I'm ignorant. on
America's
here.
tied with so
Nah,
many other
come
people.
on.
It's like so sad.
Man, why are we talking about politics though? How did
Talk about unordinary. That whole thing is political.
Facts.
I've asked this like 4 times already. It's just
Yeah.
Yo, but fuck Arlo. Arlo is a simp.
I think Arlo didn't do much.
Nah, the only simp I've ever seen is
who's speaking? Cypher?
Who's the only simp you ever seen?
Never mind, I lost my train of thought. That was lame.
Arlo is your answer.
Black is the only simp.
Who's he
Chill,
over?
chill,
There we
chill,
go.
chill.
That was advanced. Thank
It
you.
is that he the only one.
Chill,
That was the thought.
chill.
Chill for what?
Like is the only one I have respect.
Houston's the one that has
You're
a crush
capping
on Remy.
for
Who's
Blake?
the one that has a crush on Remy?
Blake.
Like
When are we capping for Blake? Who's doing that?
me.
His name is Blake. It's not even Blake.
They both got beat up. John just ran up on the.
I'm not capping for no man named Blake.
That shit was wild.
That man's name's really Blake, not even Blake. That's just so
Yeah,
funny.
like-
He's Blake, I'm gonna be Bike.
John being a bully is.
He's bike with an L. Jesus.
One of the
From
greatest
the
parts
bike.
of his.
That's crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
You're from the
That's
back.
funny.
I'm not capping for that man. He good.
You know
Yo,
one
that
thing I
man
like
really
about the
thought he
series a
was
lot
gonna be
too.
king, bro.
I always find that stories that keep it simple, but they have something deeper to say. Because like I said, this world just by default, because of how it's built up, is set up to teach you certain life lessons and whatnot.
It's not that deep, dude.
Right? I'm not saying it's the deepest season ever read. I'm just saying
It's definitely not. At least it's not fake pseudo like Holy Land.
It's the way that it's.
Hunter.
This guy is anti Holy Land, bro. Listen, I could
Gotta
read a
push
book.
that anti.
I could read a book on how to fight. I could do it. I'm joking, but
You good, bro? Bro, he proved it, bro. Just go read that book right now.
no,
Best fighter in the universe.
No, guns out. But
Hey, bricks out. What you mean?
I'm kidding.
He said brick.
Nah, I'm not bricks. I throw a brick at a bitch head.
A brick's on the gun.
Good lord! Every time he said it was with such anger and ferocity.
That's his quirk, man. You gotta let him. That's his quirk.
You're right.
You gotta let him. I don't even know what I was gonna say. I forgot. But all right. So one of the last things I want to talk about is what do you guys
Wait, Taco Bell.
think is going to happen in season 2, and or what you want to see from the next season?
I want John to beat the dog shit and become king, and say, "Hey, I don't want king," and then done.
All right, next.
I think I think what's gonna happen. We're gonna pan back to the school. Shit's gonna be hold this right. Like the low tiers ain't gonna have no more respect. To
Do you guys think they get the mask off?
No,
Because
no,
that's
no,
the
they don't.
step. What's her name? Was going the
Who's
idiot?
gonna take it?
Remy trying to take his mask off?
They all incapacitated now. He beat the shit out of everybody. Ain't nobody getting up to do that.
Okay, so then the only
The
thing
whole
that's
school
left
can-
is how is John when he loses Sera? because he's gonna lose Sera.
He's just not going. He's just not going to school.
He's just gonna walk around town with a bag on his head.
They'll be in the hospital. They'll be in the hospital. You know, John will stop going to school. Sera will go to school, and Cecile will be running the school. Yeah, there we go.
I think Ember's just gonna play a bigger part in season 2. I think that's really.
I think that's so lame, dude.
No,
Huh?
I don't want to see Ember play such a big part early on.
No, it's not gonna be early. Probably the first like 10, 15 chapters is gonna be whatever they're doing for that, and then Ember will be sprinkled in a little bit, and then after like chapter 15,
I expect the Ember stuff to at least ramp up a little bit. Like I think it has to go further than what we saw in season 1. But I don't expect that to happen right away.
Proven to be a competent threat because you were able to depower Sera, and she's pretty like
she's a god tier, one of the strongest.
But wait, we don't know that's Ember.
No, we know that's Ember.
Really?
We don't know that's Ember. That could be a third party.
They literally said
a third party.
Killing people.
Wait, you guys didn't see how that could be a third party?
Explain to me how they're taking out high tier people like Ray without there being Ember. The people that's actually working on
power dampener.
Exactly. So and Ember then you doing telling Ember's not connected to where fucking Seraphina's sister work?
I guess I'm the only one that thinks there actually might be just a fourth party. One that is to promote the powers, and one is to neutralize.
Name all 4 parties.
Okay, in fact, I was just about to say that.
God, name all 4.
I was gonna say, okay, parties is like kind of rough. There's one, the cripples. Two of them are just high school, where it's the cripples and the people with power, and then I think there's Ember, who wants to promote the power, and then there's a group that wants to neutralize the power. Maybe I'm nuts.
From a writing standpoint, like, what's the point of having a different party that's doing the same thing as Ember? Probably.
Exactly.
Right?
Literally, Ember. It would make more sense.
But we don't know that Ember is doing that.
No, that would make sense.
It's Ember, bro. I'm sorry.
If I'm Ember and I want to get the rise of power, if I'm taking out other high tier people, if I weaken everybody and I have the fucking
they're making a sense of chaos and scariness, and then they sell their drug.
Yeah, they literally capitalize.
Why are you overthinking this, bro? It's Ember.
I don't know. Maybe I am. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying.
Let's put down the marijuana for a second. It's Ember, bro.
There's not much we know about Ember to begin with, right? We don't even know.
See, that's what I'm saying.
But we do know it's unordinary. It's unordinary. It's not going to get that complicated.
But we know they're the bad guys. Why would they create a second bad guy group?
Sure, they're suspect, but I understand what he's saying. Like,
we don't know that they're bad guys.
I feel like I feel like someone at some point has had to like come up with the idea that Ember is like a government like faction.
Yeah.
Like that has to be a thing because I feel like that's where it's going. I think like if you want unordinary to not be particularly long, I think that like if it doesn't go there, then it's like too long. But if it goes in that route, then I think that unordinary can be great as like a shorter, than usual series.
The headmaster is gonna be a part of Ember. I can feel it.
Ooh, that's interesting.
He's gonna be the well-sent students.
That's why. That's
definitely some type of important player.
Nah, fuck that. I want that headmaster to be a good guy.
He's a scout. He's a scout.
I didn't say he's good or bad. I just know he's important.
Yeah, he should be.
If you are the principal of the most like prestigious school or whatever,
that's what I'm saying.
There's a reason for it. If you can tell,
it's like Jiraiya,
no more interrogating my students. You're different.
Facts. And everybody's scared of him. Bam.
So yeah, watch.
So did everybody go? I don't think everybody went as far as like what they expect. I think we just hopped on one topic.
You guys wanna?
I just want Sera to not talk with John. I'm good with that.
I mean, I thought I was the hot take and saying, no, it's not. It's not the bad guys.
No, we were supposed to go through like the topics and then niggas just hopped on.
I'm interested in the conversation that they're gonna have after this crazy ass reveal. I mean, we all expected it.
John's reaction should be interesting.
I was watching Naya's live reaction. He was so excited.
John's reaction is gonna be.
So what if John? What if John punches? What if John punches?
Because so far we have not seen him really react.
He just beats her up.
Yeah, I got
John's reaction
I
so
got mad
far.
hype. I got mad hype.
John's reactions so far have been not even reactions. Like it's just he knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
so he's ready.
Happen, bro.
So when do we think that John's gonna find out that Sera knows? Are we saying it's gonna be like right away, or we think it's gonna be like
chapter like 2, at least chapter 2 of season 2? It's not gonna take that long.
Because I'm thinking he's not gonna find out until like 2 or 3, because Uru-Chan's gonna probably establish.
You got John fucked up.
It's probably gonna.
I think Uru-Chan's gonna
go right into something else in the first chapter, and then a few chapters in.
Do you guys think it's a possibility she tries to get him to come clean as like a final last chance?
No. I think through anime story kind of wise things, that's gonna be the last option. It's not gonna be one of the first.
She hasn't been writing her story as a typical.
If it's one of the first,
you want to tell me what's going on here? Like kind of like that.
Who?
That's me. I gotta.
He already had the chat.
I think he made Seraphina talking to John.
Literally last week.
You're right. That's fair. You're right. That's true.
When she's like, "Oh hey, Arlo said, haha, you kind of crazy."
No, like
she's like, "Arlo, fuck that nigga. Don't ever listen to that nigga." And then
kind of goat though.
Now it's kind of nuts.
I forgot to say. I don't know if I remember this. You know, like I can't remember who said this to me. I think it was Sombra. And I remember we're talking about My Hero. This is like last year, and I was talking about how he's the GOAT. And Sombra was like, I hate him. And I was like, Mirio. Like, I'm like, why do you hate Mirio, man? He's like, he genuinely doesn't like when he feels like an author is trying to force you to like a character. Like, they make them intentionally extremely cool, likable, whatever the case is, and you kind of root for them.
Morally good and shit like that.
You know what I'm saying? And I've never heard anyone say that. I thought it was interesting, and I feel like Arlo is the very easy character to dislike in unOrdinary. Like he's tailor made to be disliked, and maybe because I just kind of relate to him in a lot of ways. Him and Dr. Darren, I just like him, but part of the reason why I like him so much, cause I'm like, bro, it's like Uru-Chan made him by design to be like slow. You don't like this guy, and I'm like, nah, I fuck with the barrier nigga. Barrier King out. This is my dude. Like, I like Arlo. Like, that's and I think he's come a long way since the beginning of the series. Like, the thing about me is I've never absolved him of any of his mistakes. I own up to him. He is messed up. He is goofed heavily, but I could see that he is trying to make some strides, and I can respect that.
Thank you, because people often get that confused, thinking that we just be capping for Arlo like he is an angel or something. Like, no, he admitted he fucked up multiple times. Like, don't start. Please don't start. Nigga,
I mean like after the L, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it don't matter if it was after the L. He admitted multiple times.
That's the thing, though.
To me, it does matter.
We're saying he messed up in that regard, and it took a loss for him to kind of take a retrospective look at what he's done wrong. Like, no one's saying, like I said, no one is being like, yo, he was the greatest right from the start to something other. The fact of the matter is, if you learn a lesson, you learn a lesson. Sometimes it may take a mistake for that to sink in, but the fact of the matter is, he has learned. He's trying to learn. He's trying to do better. From him trying to apologize, for him trying to do certain things, you think like, all right, you know what? I'll leave Sera out of it. Why would she believe me? And they're like, no, she needs to see this. Hold it, go get her, like kind of type of thing. Like he's not there yet at all.
Is he trying that, or is it just like, I mean,
he's not there.
I just mean is like, is it PTSD? Or like
no, it's not PTSD. It's a complete change of character.
He's definitely been defeated by John. He knows that he can't beat him, but the fact of the matter is, he still stepped him because he knew what he had to do. Because I think that conversation with Elaine, when Elaine was like, "Bro, what's good with you?" That actually, I think, was part of the reason why he ended up jumping down from that window, because he didn't have to do that. He just waited his turn, taking his L, and kept it pushing, but he didn't do that. Because he knew that I know in his heart somewhere he knew he wasn't gonna win, but he will lose the battle and win the war as long as Sera figured out that he was the Joker. That's why you told
right.
Holden to go get him, and that's why I said it was a power play in my fucking live reaction.
That's why you stopped too.
And there it is.
That's interesting because to me, I don't think that he held back. He was holding back from
Obviously,
Sera.
he was trying to win, but I don't think he.
I think he was holding back because
Arlo?
of the title. I don't think it was because of Sera. Because I think he just didn't want the title because he saw how he was as king, and he obviously we've seen he hates himself as king. But I don't think it has anything to do with
I don't know if I believe all that.
I don't think so.
But he does feel
You think he hates
unqualified
himself
because he's not
as
the
king?
strongest. I could say that much.
Yeah, I agree. You guys could be right, but
He doesn't
I just
doesn't want John to lead the school. John is a psycho. He's a loose cannon.
He is.
Well, anyways, any final comments you guys have? Because like I'm ready to sleep, bro.
Yeah, fuck Arlo.
I'm like tired.
Gang shit, John gang shit. It's gay.
Join the Kinemon Church. You heard?
I think I started to like Arlo when he got humbled.
Fuck that shit. He still isn't humble.
Sometimes that's what it takes, man. Like I said, everyone.
He still is not humble.
It sucks, but sometimes it just takes a loss like that for you to kind of take a look back at yourself. Like, yo, look at the mirror and be like, man, I was tweaking. You know how many? I mean, I'm like the ultimate. I was so dumb back in the day. Like every year, I'm like, man, you were dumb at this year. You're dumb. Like I do that every year.
Nobody say nothing about it lose the key, so.
Be like that. You gotta look back at yourself, look in the mirror, and be like, yeah, that wasn't it, man. We good?
Yep.
Fuck Arlo.
Thanks. Oh, go ahead, BMC.
I will say, like, I think, like right, like normally I'd see that in another like series, and I'd be like, I'd be like, nah, you still whack. Like, get out of here. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what I liked was, it wasn't just that he was like, I just need to take a different approach because me being like isn't working and me being like order isn't working. You know what I mean? But it was like that he like the fact that he realized that like, oh, like
this is my fault.
I wasn't listening,
Mm-hmm.
and because I wasn't listening, this stuff happened, and now I have to deal with that. And like it like that often, like in like these types of series, like that level of sort of like, oh, I wasn't listening.
Yeah, self-realization. Yep.
Like I thought that was great, and I was like, oh, okay, I can get behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why for me, I'm like, I can get behind that act. I'm still like, nah, like Arlo, fuck out of here, colonizer ass. Like, nah, we good. I don't like that. But I see the growth.
Oh, fuck Arlo.
I'm here for the growth. I'm here for that. Because John still he not
John
really listening. John just yelling. John yelling like everybody. He didn't need to yell around me like
Ellen. Everybody loves Ellen.
John trash to me. I don't like John. I can't stand John.
Rewind.
All right, he's doing too much. Give him some hot cocoa. Let him relax.
Mm-hmm.
All right, get him a therapist. Like not Keon, because he's not a therapist. He trash.
That's what they met. That's where they messed up. Everybody kept messing it up.
No, just a mess.
Yeah, that's what happens when you push people over the edge. They should have fixed the problem from the get-go. They didn't fix it. Now everybody paying the price.
But the problem is so much bigger than everybody in that school anyways. They can't fix that by themselves.
That's cap.
Yeah, nobody can fix it now. Too late.
Oh, they gonna fix it. Don't worry about him.
This train
no one in the school talks. You know, none of them have any empathy. What did he say?
Hey, let me just say, Remy got a big ass mouth for all how much he doesn't talk. Let me just say that.
Yeah, but Remy's. I'm never gonna hate Remy because her heart's in the right place, as ignorant as she is and privileged as she is. But her heart's in the right place.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's like to me it is, but like what like I understood what John was saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. But it's like, dude, you are way too loud right now. It's like, bruh,
saying,
like you sound like one of the second grade students.
It's just like you know this.
I hate it when you're right and people just say you're way too loud.
This this meter, it goes to 100, and you just limit break through it. Like relax a little bit, just dial it back. Like you just
bitch. This is not your Final Fantasy.
The volume
Someone
goes
else's.
to 10, and John's at a 16. Like relax.
No, unfactual.
That's all I'm saying.
He just needs a straight jacket. That's all he needs.
On God.
This is why I fuck with Arlo, and not Arlo. I mean John.
No, you fuck with Arlo. I heard that.
I heard that
too. We all heard it.
It's recorded. Can't take it back.
You know what he said?
Is this a glitch system?
He said Arlo the GOAT. Everyone, thanks for coming.